Hello, my name's Sarita and I'm speaking to you today from Soulhenge, and I'm here to help you understand the truth about who you are. Now, I'm really excited today because I'm going to share with you a really simple method which is going to give you the opportunity to heal kind of almost anything that you want in your life. And I'm really excited because this technique is an amalgamation of two other healing techniques that I've been looking at. And what I discovered was when I sort of merged them together and created this new technique, I suddenly started getting some really exciting results. And I've only merged this technique for about the last 10 days, but everybody that I've tried this on, I've had success with, basically. So I really want to share this technique with you because it's so simple and it's so easy. And what it does is it works on the premise, both of the techniques work on the premise that we are a quantum computing system and that everything in the known universe, including our reality, is basically information, encoded light frequency information. And so the first technique that I've been studying for quite a few months now is actually called Yuen technique. That's Y-U-E-N. And what it does is it allows you to tap into the midline of the body. So that would be the pranic tube, and perceive it as a quantum computing system. A quantum computing system. And the more that I work with this midline, the more that I'm beginning to perceive it as this kind of column of light that is carrying this encoded information, which I perceive as numbers and symbols. It kind of looks like the Matrix, in the film The Matrix, except that it's a column and it's white light encoded information. And what you do in the Yuen technique is you tap into your own midline or someone else's, and you investigate using muscle testing where their issues are coming from. And you can heal issues on a spiritual, emotional, mental, or physical level by finding the root cause of these issues. And as you find them, the awareness and the seeing of them makes them dissipate, basically. And if they don't completely dissipate by being held in awareness, then what you do is you send a new command into that midline to reprogram the quantum computer. So that's the first method that I've been working with. And then the second thing that I've been looking at is the healing codes by Grabavoi, who was a Russian physicist, or is a Russian physicist. I'm not sure if he's still alive or not. And he was also a intuitive and a healer. And he, again, was working on the premise that everything is light encoded information. And he worked out and received these codes to heal anything from like a wart to open your pineal gland, or to stop your car crashing. I mean, he found codes for absolutely every illness known to man. So I'm talking about, the whole plethora of fixing any kind of system in your body, any kind of disease in your body. And then he also had these codes to affect change in the circumstances around you and to help you to manifest and to do things like call in more abundance and things like that. So basically what I've been doing is I've been working with the Grabavoi codes, but amalgamating them with the Yuen method. And what I found is this sort of supersonic charged healing technique that really works. And I'll give you some examples of how I've used it just in the last 10 days. So the first person I tried this on was a friend of mine who'd had a rash all over his body for 2 months. And I sent him the code for healing the main illness in your life and understanding its root cause so that you learned the lesson and it didn't come back. And so I gave my friend this code and the method that I'm about to share with you how to use it. And what happened was he did that code and he went to sleep, and that night he dreamed in vivid detail exactly where his rash had come from and why he had it. And when he woke up in the morning, the rash was a little better, but for him, he understood what was happening. So then the second time I used it was on my husband. He had a sty on his eye and it was really, really hurting him. So I used a very simple code just to remove a sty. And I did the method on him, and in the morning he woke up and all of the pain which had been really bothering him was gone, and from that morning on the sty began to heal. Then the next thing that happened was I inserted the code, and I'll explain the method, into somebody who was suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder. And it was so bad because they'd had a car crash that they were not going to go on a holiday that they had booked a long time ago. So I gave them this, I sent the healing code to them. So it was me that gave it to them. And basically all the symptoms disappeared and they went on holiday. Then I tried the healing code on myself. I have been feeling incredibly tired for the last 2 months, and it's been frustrating me because I know that every illness or everything that shows in our manifested reality is an issue that calls you to heal something inside yourself. So I've been really looking deeply at myself, why I'm feeling this chronic tiredness. And I was even beginning to panic a little bit because I couldn't sort it out. And I've had a really busy summer and I've still got like a few retreats left to do. So I was beginning to panic that I wouldn't be entirely present for my students because I was suffering from this kind of really debilitating chronic tiredness. So what I did was I did the method on myself, and what happened to me was so astonishing that it really made me realize what was going on. And so as I did the healing method on myself, within 10 seconds, I just felt this energetic shift within me, and literally all of my tiredness was gone. It just went completely, and I just kind of shot up, you know, out of my bed and just went, oh my God, this is completely amazing. And that's when I really realized how powerful this method was. And so what I had used on me was the healing code for chronic tiredness. So basically, I personally felt this massive shift. Then what happened was one of my students who came on retreat, his girlfriend was suffering with a swollen eye. She'd had it for 2 months. She was in such a lot of pain. She was beside herself and she really just didn't know what to do. And the doctors were not helping her at all. So I explained the method to my student and we sent the code to her. And within 24 hours, all of her pain was gone. And she's just been getting better and better and better ever since. So that was the second to last time I used the code. And then what happened yesterday was I had another student who wanted to come on retreat, and they were having issues because there was a personal issue going on and they needed to be present for that issue, and they didn't think they were going to be able to make it on the retreat, and it all looked like it was all over. So what I did is I sent this person a code to allow the circumstances in their life to flow into a resolution for them so that they could achieve what they wanted to achieve. So obviously what she wanted to achieve was to get to my retreat. And again, within 24 hours, the situation completely resolved itself. And she sent me an email saying the code has worked and I'm coming. So that's been my experience with these codes just in the last 10 days. And in some of those instances, people have tried the codes by themselves, and in some I have tried the codes on them. So what I really like about this method is it works on yourself and it works as a distant healing method. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to explain the method to you, which is just so simple. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to, at the end of the video, I'm going to put up some general codes that you can practice and work with, because these codes are readily available all over the internet, but I would advise you to be careful from where you're getting them from. Make sure they are genuine codes, because you don't want to be reprogramming your quantum computer with codes that are not genuine. So that's my kind of word of warning if you're looking for codes. So I will put up some general codes for you. And also I would suggest that you play with this healing modality, because there are codes for kind of spiritual resolution. So for things like, there's even a code for healing your soul. Obviously, that's the kind of code that you might really feel, but it might take a little while to kind of integrate with you. But if you were going to do a code for something as sort of easy as clearing a cough, then what you would do is you would notice whether the code has worked. So I would suggest that you play with these codes and use them for little physical things that you're experiencing and see how they affect you. Oh, and I forgot to tell you that I used the code as well on myself because I needed a quick cash injection to pay someone for something. And I used a code for unexpected money to arrive. And within 10 minutes. 10 minutes, some unexpected money arrived in my life. So that was amazing as well. I forgot to tell you that one, which is really cool. So try the codes which are more easy to understand, because there is such a range of codes available. I really suggest that you try ones where you can see physical manifested changes in your life really easily before you go on to the kind of the deeper codes, things like activating your energy centers. So this is how the technique works. I'm going to relax you like I always do. And then what we're going to do is we're going to feel ourselves as energy, and we're going to tune in to that midline, which runs all the way from the crown of our head to our perineum. It goes all the way through the center of your body, connecting all of your energy centers. And if you were doing yoga, they would call it the pranic tube. And as we connect into that midline and we begin to perceive it, and don't worry if you can't perceive it very clearly to begin with, it's a practice. What we're going to do is we're going to expand it a little bit so that we see it as an energetic column full of light encoded information. It's the quantum computer within us that is informing all of our energy centers, and in that informing how our manifested reality comes into being. So we're going to tap into that quantum computing system within us. And if you're doing this for someone else, you're going to tap into their midline and their quantum computing system. So you're tapping into that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to write the code in front of us in a ball of light. Now, what I'm going to do today is I'm going to pick a generic code that we can all work with. So I'm going to give you the code for self-worth and self-love, because it's a beautiful code and it's something that we can all do with a lot more of. But basically, you can go and look at the codes and go investigate new codes, and you can put any code that you want in this ball. So what we're going to do is we're going to imagine that in front of us, or if you're doing another person in front of them, is a ball of white light, okay? And then what you're going to do is you're going to draw in your mind's eye the encoded number within that ball. And you don't need to worry, because I'm going to say the code to you I'm going to say the code to you so you can repeat it in your head after me. So we're going to write the code in light, in our mind's eye, in the ball. And if you want to say the code out loud, all the better. The more times you work with the code, the better. And then we're going to see this code inside the white ball in front of us. And then what we're going to do is we are going to post that code through the energy center of our pineal gland, which is in the center of our head. So what you're going to do is you're going to sort of see that code in entirety. You're going to see it in entirety, and then you're going to kind of shrink it and pull it towards you, like that writing in the Star Wars movie. Pull it towards you and post it through your pineal gland, and it's going to go through your pineal gland and then down that midline column. And as it goes down that column, what you're going to do is you're going to perceive that code affecting change within you. And then we're going to do the whole process again. So we're going to create the white ball of light, place the code in it, see it in entirety, and then post it down our pineal gland. So we're going to do that 3 times. And then what we're going to do is we're going to tune into the midline one more time, and we're going to send it a direct command to allow that new encoded information to affect the program of your reality. And if all goes well, you should actually feel a kind of energetic shift within you. And if all goes really, really well, then what you're going to see is a shift in your exterior world. You're going to see that new reality manifested in your life. And another thing I would tell you about this method is it is a practice. Grabavoi says you need to be able to focus your mind with consistency to get these codes to work. And it's the same thing with the Ewan method. You've really got to be able to concentrate and tap in to that midline. So if you are a prolific meditator, that I know lots of you are on this channel, then you should be fine. You should be able to concentrate on those numbers as they come in, really focusing your attention, focusing your intention as well. And if you feel like holding an elevated emotion like gratitude or joy while you're doing it, all the better. So that's what we're going to do. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you the code for self-worth and self-love. So the code is 8472167, okay? And you need to say the Grabavoi codes as individual numbers. So it's 72167, and they deliberately have a gap in between them when I've paused. Okay, so if you were to write it, it would be 84 gap 72 gap 167. Okay, and that's because that's how your quantum computer accesses that code. You would not say 8427, and you wouldn't say them all as one piece of code. Okay, so you've got to have the gaps and say them as individual numbers. Okay, so when you're ready, what we're going to do is we're going to program ourselves for self-worth and self-love, and you're going to be able to see how this technique works. So I invite you to stand up or sit up for this process, and when you're ready, you're going to take a breath in and a breath out and close your eyes. And you're just going to bring your attention to your breath. And allow that focused attention to deepen you into your body. And understand here how the breath connects the inside with the outside. As above, so below. As within, so without. The breath is connecting you to the all that is. And you don't need to be in a deep meditative state for this technique to work. You just need to be able to focus your concentration. So what you're going to do now is you're going to turn your attention inward and feel that midline, that column of light that runs from your crown to your perineum all the way through the center of your body, connecting all of your energy centers. And as you tap into this midline, you're going to expand it a little and begin to perceive it as the quantum computer of your being, holding light encoded frequency and information. So just really allowing yourself to perceive and see this midline. And now what you're going to do is you're going to set your intention to reprogram your quantum computer for self-love and self-worth. And now you are going to create a ball of white light in front of you. And within that, you are going to draw in light the numbers 8472167. And you're going to see this code in entirety within the ball. And on your next in-breath, you're going to breathe it through your pineal gland and post it down that midline. And as that new encoded information moves down your midline, you are seeing and feeling it affecting change within you. And so now we're going to do that again. Create a white ball of light in front of you. And inside that, write the code 8472167. Then perceive that code in entirety. And on your next in-breath, You're going to breathe it through your pineal gland and post it down that midline. And as it moves down that quantum computer, feeling that code affecting change within you. And one more time, create a white ball of light in front of you and write in it the code 8472167. Seeing the code in entirety within that white ball of light. And now breathe it in through your pineal gland and post it down your midline. Feeling the energetic shift as it affects change within you. And holding your attention at the midline, we are now going to send a command directly to it. The command is to be strengthened by this new code, allowing it to affect change within us from 0 minus infinity, 100% in all times, dimensions, realities and universes, on every layer of our being. And if you wish, you can send your own command to have this code affect change and strengthen you. And when you're ready, open your eyes. So that's it. Easy peasy, and it works. Amazing, amazing, amazing. I'm really excited and interested in these new technologies. And you know, the more that I tap into source consciousness and the more information that I'm receiving from my higher self, the more I'm being taught and shown that, you know, this is a quantum universe, that we are a quantum computer, and that we are living in this kind of holographic universe that we are creating using our thoughts and feelings. And so we're basically a quantum computing system, and all we need to do to have beautiful, fulfilling, purposeful lives is to delete the subconscious programs and put new programs in that serve us better. And it really doesn't have to be complicated. This is such an easy technique. So there you go. Go and play with the technique and the codes and let me know what happens to you. Really excited to see how you all go with it. And I hope you found this video interesting. And if you liked it, then please like it. And if you'd like to see more videos, then please just subscribe. Thank you very much.